So the Donald Trump clown show continues, and these days it feels like the Karate Kid. If you remember these old movies, it was wax on, wax off, but these days it's tariff on, tariff off, tariff up, tariff down. And, that's essentially what's going on. And, this is a bit of kung fu, karate, however you want to call it. I honestly don't know what to make of it from each state to the next. Who's coming or who's going and which tariffs are on or off. Also, the Trump people appear to be getting angrier and angrier as the fights continue. Have a take a look at this. This is Karen Levitt, and watch how angry she gets.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Wow, a packed room today. Last night, the Trump administration faced another example of judicial overreach. Using his full and proper legal authority, President Trump imposed universal tariffs and reciprocal tariffs on Liberation Day to address the extraordinary threat to our national security and economy posed by large and persistent annual U.S. goods trade deficits. The United States has run a trade deficit of goods every year since 1975.
All right, that's enough. There's only so much of her I can take, to be honest. Here's the gist. She comes in, good morning, everyone. Okay, let's get on to business. I'm going to get angry. And it's like, it's weird. Honestly, it was interesting watching her read this today. It was like she's trying to get through it as fast as she possibly could. And, is she angry that she has to do these press briefings? Does she want to quit? Does, Trump say, you got to keep doing it because I can't find anyone else? I don't know. You can ask her. But this was the angry press conference. They also used language attacking the judges in courts as they normally do. That's the Trump people. Have a listen to this.
3 judges of the U.S. Court of International Trade disagreed and brazenly abused their judicial power to usurp the authority of President Trump to stop him from carrying out the mandate that the American people gave him.
Yeah, so they'll use this kind of language, right? So they're trying to claim that he has a mandate. And I'll just tell you, he's at 42% approval rating. He didn't even get 50% of the popular vote. You guys know this stuff already. Basically, half the country doesn't like him. Or you can even argue over half the country doesn't like him. So whenever they mention the mandate, great victory, this kind of stuff, I push back on that. On top of that, they're trying to essentially push the limits of what the executive branch can do. Now, they'll make the case that the judges are just blocking the goodwill of President Trump. But honestly, Trump, this is in it for himself. And this is sort of, you put this together with the angry response to the White House. It's frankly bizarre, this whole thing. Everything's bizarre about these people. And I'm often on the watch on who's going to quit first. I'm kind of leaning towards Carolyn Levitt quitting first, but could be Scott Bessent. Could be Greer, that's the trade rep. Could be Marco Rubio. I mean, that's what we're watching for. But let's listen to some more of these angry question in their press conference here.
Ouija.
Caroline. President Trump was asked what he thought about Elon Musk's claim that the big, beautiful bill increases the budget deficit and undermines the work of DOGE. And the president didn't actually comment on those remarks. He just talked about the need to support the bill. So what does the president think about what Elon Musk said?
Well, the president is very proud of the one big beautiful bill, and he wants to see it pass. He wants the Senate to get to work on it and send it to his desk as quickly as possible. Of course, as you know, Elon Musk announced last night his departure as an official special government employee from the Trump administration. We thank him for his service. We thank him for getting DOGE off of the ground, and the efforts to cut waste, fraud, and abuse will continue.
So he doesn't have any comment about Musk saying it adds to the deficit and it undermines all his work?
The president commented on this. I commented on it. I told you that this bill saves $1.6 trillion according to the Council of Economic Advisors and the analyses that the president believes in. So he gave a comment. I gave a comment. Just because you don't like that comment doesn't mean it's not a comment.
Like, how is it even an answer? I gave a comment. He gave a comment. What are we talking about? So, okay, let me try to explain what's going on here. Musk, basically, he's got this big interview coming out this weekend. They leaked part of it already. I believe this is CBS, and I'll cover it when it comes out. Basically, Musk is like, yo, you're adding too much to the deficit. Your bill can't be big and beautiful. It's got to pick one or the other. The numbers don't add up. This is according to the Congressional Budget Office. Trump will say, well, I don't like those numbers. I want to use my own numbers with my own people. And like, it doesn't really look like that. The numbers add up or they don't. And you can literally see how they're dodging questions. So whenever they dodge, right, that's essentially an admission. Yeah, how you want to say it. We'll just say this. It's a dodge, right? or when they, vehemently say fake news, fake news, fake news. Usually that means it's probably true. You kind of get these patterns with these people, and they also kind of field a lot of crazy questions. They dodge and get angry, so basically they don't like it when they're being called out. Let's listen to some more of this.
I know you said the White House is going to fight this ruling in court. Is the administration actively reviewing other avenues, other options to carry out the president's trade policy?
The president's trade policy will continue. We will comply with the court orders, but yes, the president has other legal authorities where he can implement tariffs. However, it does not dispute the fact that the president was right to declare a national emergency when it came to fentanyl and when it came to our crippling.
They have to keep repeating that same thing, is that this is an emergency, and if there's an emergency, then the president can, take all the power that they want. So that's their key argument there, and that's sort of why they talk about all the time, like, we're being attacked, these kind of things. Whether or not you can, go on this forever, I'm telling you, it's going to go into the courts. This is actually the complicated part that just broke just a few minutes ago, and this was after the press conference, so she wasn't asked questions on this particularly, but here it says, appeals court allows Trump tariffs to stay in effect for now. So it was just yesterday. It was the trade court. It was like, yo, pause these things for like a week essentially. Now this appeals court came in. They're like, okay, pause the first pause, and so now we're back to the tariffs again. But this is temporary also. So basically, we have two temporary rulings. My feeling is, my hunch is, this is going to go to Supreme Court, and this is going to have major repercussions. So keep an eye on this stuff. Basically, can the president go around Congress to do whatever, tariff things that they want to do? Moreover, what will Congress do? Will they change any laws? Fox News actually addressed this. Have a listen to this.
But so the courts are basically telling you guys they think that the White House's policies, the president's policies, are in some way against the law. So why can't President Trump ask the Republicans that control the House and the Republicans that control the Senate just to make a new law?
Well, these laws have already been granted to the president by the Constitution and by laws that have been previously passed. I'll give you another example. For instance, we've been blocked in court for the revocation of visas from individuals who have the privilege of studying in the United States of America.
So she changes the topic to visa revocations, but that is an interesting question, right? So if the courts are going to, say, hey, the president doesn't have the power, you guys, right, the Republicans control the Congress, why don't you just pass new laws? Chances are, the reason why she answered that way is the Republicans aren't going to go that far. So this is an interesting thing, or dilemma, I would say, for many Republicans. Do I want to tie myself to Trump or not? Oftentimes, you'll hear it behind closed doors. Republicans know Trump's an idiot. Any sane or intelligent person or moral person know Trump's an idiot and crazy. But essentially, so is the base of Trump, and then this is where therein the problem lies. Yes, we can talk about Trump a lot, right? Which we do, but he's also sort of, you could say, a symptom of a greater disease. And and I try to be sensitive about this topics, guys, because I would prefer all of us to live in reality, come together, work towards common good, and it doesn't benefit us as a whole to divide us, when essentially, and just be honest with you, like 99% of us live in the same sort of situation, and the top 1% just basically abuse everyone. And what's sad, though, is a lot of people who support Trump, as we talked about in the channel, there's people in the community that they can see the problem with it is like voting against their interests. It's been like that for a long time. I don't think Congress is going to budge and give Trump more power. That's just my opinion. But you never know with these Republicans. So that was an interesting question, but she did dodge, so I doubt they have the votes. Regarding the school thing, this is actually an interesting one. Yes, the State Department's been going after like freezing student visa interviews, and also going after revoking Chinese student, this is university students, visas as well. So I saw this article today. It was quite interesting. French business schools are now fast track entry foreign students who are blocked from the USA. So like if you have an admission to a business school in the USA and you have any visa problems, whatever, France will figure out a way to take you quickly. I'm here in France right now, so that's why this one really hit home for me. And I'm just like, hanging out here in Paris, and I'm just telling you guys, it's really nice. It's really nice here. And, there's a lot of things that the French do right that the Americans are getting wrong, be it the mass transit, be it education, be it this particular issue with foreign students. And it's very interesting to see the international, business thrive here. And a lot of the sort of negative connotations of French in the past don't exist today. Because I just remember as a kid that people would complain that the French are a bit rude if you don't say any French or like that. And actually, we do. We try to say as much French as we can. I only studied a year in college. My French isn't great, but it's okay. And I mention that because I'm always constantly surprised how much English I see around, be it menus, many of the worker, frankly, all of the workers here, etc. And then you have this sort of friendly policy to foreign students, and you actually see quite a bit of foreign. It's not just English; it's all sorts of languages, and people are here. But that's what you want if you want to have international business, education, etc. Keep trade going, keep international business going, and the French are taking advantage of the downfall of the USA as you're seeing. Saw some more of the angry press conference with Press Secretary Levitt here.
Administration then reach the point where you are actually asking your economic advisors to start reviewing other avenues to implement the president's trade policy, or do you want to just see this legal process take place for now?
We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We are doing both. Josh.
The Fed says the president met with the Fed chair earlier today. I'm wondering if you can give us any readout of that meeting. The Fed also says that they discussed the economy. I imagine the president might have shared views on rates as well, but what can you
Sure.
share with us?
I can share with you that we saw, the president and I both saw the statement that the Fed put out after the meeting. That statement is correct. However, the president did say that he believes the Fed chair is making a mistake by not lowering interest rates, which is putting us at an economic disadvantage to China and other countries. And the president's been very vocal about that.
It's probably not the time to lower. Now, from Trump's point of view, they're just basically, hey, let's just open up the money sprockets. Let's get that money flowing. Let's get it so everyone can borrow a bunch of money and fund the government or whatever. The problem is though, if that is indeed the case, if you just print some money, make borrowing more easy, inflation is going to go through the roof. Just right now, guys, the main problem is that, well, a lot of problems, but I mean obviously the main problem is Trump, but the numbers that they're putting out don't add up. Now he doesn't have the power to fire Powell. Powell also said too that you don't have the power, and so there'll be a fight there. Everything that Trump is doing these days, though, I feel like there's a lot more pushback out there. So don't give up. I know sometimes people get down and stuff like that. Don't give up hope. I mean, for me, watching Karen Levitt implode, I mean, literally I see it every day. We're watching it now, just like more and more angry. Guys, if things were going well for them, she'd be way more calm and relaxed because basically she's like totally stressed out before going on stages and tries her best to soldier on. You see it. Plus in the language, what they're going to make the case, they're going to say, hey guys, this is text section 232. There is, and I'll read it to you. This is the Trade Expansion Act. The president has the broad power to adjust imports, including those through the use of tariffs, if excessive foreign imports are found to be a threat to U.S. national security. So they're going to try to make the case, all of these various industries, et cetera, are a threat to national security. So that's why, again, the way that they bring this stuff up is like, well, we want to put tariffs on X, and we're going to try to tie it to, China, however way that they can. And a lot of the stuff is also a smokescreen, claiming these national threats to collect that money to funnel into Musk companies to do AI and crypto, et cetera. So it becomes quite complicated when you do this, when you talk about this stuff. But that's why I try to always mention that where is the money going, and I think it's going to benefit Trump and Musk because again, this is basically a sales tax, and they're trying to promote it through it's attack on the country beating the trade deficits or whatever are a threat to national security. Let's listen to some more of this.
Found that the Hallmark Maha Commission report that was released last week cites studies that appear to not exist. We know that because in part we reached out to some of the listed authors who said that they didn't write the studies cited. So I want to ask, does the White House have confidence that the information coming from HHS can be trusted?
Yes, we have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS. I understand there were some formatting issues with the Maha report that are being addressed, and the report will be updated, but it does not negate the substance of the report, which, as you know, is
so
one of the...
I had to look this one up. Here's the headline. RFK Jr.'s Maha report found to contain citations to non-existent studies. Basically, they're just making crap up over there. And she's like, "Well, there were some irregularities, there were some problems, but we still trust him. No, I don't trust any of these people." After stuff like that, then they get a crazy question about, was it AI? Listen to this.
Is backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government.
And a quick follow-up, can you talk about what tools or research goes into production of these kinds of reports? For instance, is it AI that's used to put together these reports now?
I can't speak to that. I would defer you to the Department of Health and Human Services. What I know is just what I told you.
That basically means probably yes, right? So this is the clown show that I'm talking about. It's absolutely insane. Let's watch some more here together.
Caroline. Many small businesses that we've talked to since the tariffs have been in place have said what would really help them is a long-term plan so that they can catch up. In light of what's happened now, this trade war with the courts, how will that impact this 90-day window? Will you guys be adjusting that? And how can you help relieve some of these small businesses?
Well, I would say nobody understands the needs of business owners, and nobody has the backs of our small business community more than President Donald J. Trump. He believes, I've heard him.
Her answer is always the same. Just trust Trump. He's a good business person, right? Because this is actually a legitimate question. How can, businesses plan when you're just like going back and forth all the time? The other answer they're probably going to give you as well, and if you're going to watch all the stuff you can, is if those dang courts are buying and all this stuff, right? There's always find ways to blame other people. The problem is just Trump is unstable, and he's doing a lot of unconstitutional things. And so, from as a business perspective, it's just not a great environment to do anything. And for many small businesses, these tariffs are actually crushing them, and it's awful that that they are. White House tries to make the case that Trump's a great business person. Yes, maybe theoretically for running his crypto scams, if you call scamming people great business, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But it's hurting everyone else, and it's not great for the whole system to.
Sure.
On Golden Dome, the president put out this number of $61
We're asking
billion.
about the dome, right? $61 billion.
How did he arrive at that? Is that the number it will cost to protect Canada, and is it negotiable, or where did it come from?
I can certainly ask the president, and I can check in with our research team, and we'll get you the facts on that number. But the Golden Dome is certainly a significant investment in our nation's national security and homeland security to protect Americans, all of you in this room.
It's like, how did you come up with the number? Oh, I'll get back to you. It means it's nonsense, right? Listen to more.
Any readout on have the Canadians been talking in good faith about paying to be in it? I know they've expressed some interest.
Well, the president has certainly expressed to the Canadians how we are essentially subsidizing their national defense. He brought it up in his meeting with their new leader here, and as you know, we'll be traveling to Canada next month.
The question was, how did you come up with the number 61 billion, for Canadians to be part of this dome thing? Are they negotiating against? He doesn't answer. But that's a lot of this stuff. She started out really, really angry, as you guys see. It is complete chaos over there in the White House, and ultimately, like I said, this thing is going to implode. There's no way this stuff is sustainable. So please hang in there, guys. Keep the pressure on. And also, I just want to remind you, midterms are coming. I do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on the next video.